Valentine's Day is almost upon us, so of course I'm going to watch a ton of Valentine's Day themed horror movies. We're going to start first here with Valentine, starring David Boreanaz, Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, and Katherine Heigl. Now, before I get into a spoiler review, you're probably wondering, hey, should I buy 5 copies in case 4 break? I wouldn't buy that many. The movie's okay. Its biggest problem, of course, is if you're a slasher fan, and this is a slasher movie, no gore, no tits, that kind of stuff, like immediately you're like, oh, well, this isn't for me. One thing that I did really like about this movie, though, is that they did play off of the Valentine's Day theme. There's Valentine's Day cards, and, they really put the holiday within the film. You can take a movie like Halloween, which is amazing, but it doesn't really play off the holiday at all. It really could have been set on any night, and it makes sense because it wasn't written to be on Halloween night, and then it was suggested, hey, let's throw it on Halloween night. So it was just like, all right, let's put a couple pumpkins up and whatnot. So it makes sense, but it's not part of the story. In fact, Halloween 3 has the most to do with Halloween of any of them. Blast me all you want, I don't care. It's true. And this one actually uses that theme. Now, does that make it a good movie? No, but I did appreciate that even went for that. But if it's something that you're like, oh my God, I really want to see some Valentine's Day themed movies, this one isn't terrible. But as I said, it's not fantastic. I wouldn't run out and buy a copy. So let's get into the movie itself. I say this a lot when we talk about slasher movies. I've reviewed a ton of them on here now, where I always say, this is a revenge movie, a whodunit revenge movie, a terror train. The list goes on and on and on. I've done a ton of these. But man, kids can be so cruel. I was watching this movie and just the dorky kid, he's trying to get a dance. He just wants a fucking dance. And I don't know, he overreacts. Don't get me wrong. I've said that in the other ones too. He gets punch thrown on him and they take his clothes off. Like, big deal. I mean, it sucks, don't get me wrong, but killing all of them. And then they can't even stick to the people they're trying to get revenge on, which is also what I have a problem with. The girl who's trying to get her money back from the guy who swindled her, that's some bullshit. This girl got swindled by a guy she was in love with. Then she comes and no one will listen to her and is treating her like she's a dipshit when all she's doing is trying to protect this girl from the dickhead and get her money back. And then she ends up getting killed and has the most violent, awful death in the movie. That chick had a raw deal. And then, in addition to that, the cop dies and the maid or the, whatever dies in this as well. And it's like, really, if this is a revenge tale, stick to the people who deserve it, even though they don't all deserve it. They don't even remember it. It's so silly. They said no to you on a dance. Like Denise Richards' character and whatever was just like, no, I'm not gonna dance with you. She's in 6th fucking grade. They're catty little bitches at that time. Really, a girl won't dance with you and you're going to murder her and her friends and everyone who comes in contact with you? Grow the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. The kid, speaking of which, the kid that they casted for young Denise Richards, holy shit, that looked exactly like her as a kid. That was incredible casting. Wow. I never really found Denise Richards, clearly she's a pretty woman, I'm not saying she isn't, but I never really found her all that attractive. She's actually pretty attractive in this movie, I was surprised. Katherine Heigl has the Drew Barrymore Scream character of this movie. A lot of films were rushing to it. I think this was made in 2001 and Scream was like 96, so they were, kind of putting out those like opening girl, the big climatic scene where the opening girl dies and you're like, oh my God. Although this one was just like, whatever. But her hiding in the freaking body bags and him just like, he checks the first 2 and then he just starts stabbing all the rest. Like he's like, I don't got time to unzip shit. That was pretty tense. And this douchebag that she's on a date with in the beginning, who keeps referring to himself in third person, why did he have to be called Jason? Ugh, Gross. The fact that she says she's not even a doctor yet, that she's in medical school, and she's there after hours working on a fresh cadaver. I haven't went to medical school, but I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. But if there are, doctors here, I don't know why the hell you'd be watching my channel if you're a doctor, but hey, I thought you'd have better things to do. But you never know. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't imagine a medical student is in there after hours cutting up a fresh cadaver. That just seems absurd to me. And the fact that she comes back, I like that he puts him, it's silly, but I like that, she goes to cut into him and it's the killer. And she just the fact that she sees him breathe and turns around and the body falls out in the proper moment, just enough time for the guy to get up off the table and run away without her even noticing. And that's a lot of the times when you watch movies, you just got to be like, well, it was an effective scene. It did what it was meaning to do. It was cool. It was a neat idea. But when you think of it logically at all, the amount of variables that would have to take place in order for that to work, it's no. He could not have got off that table. What if she would have just came up and just sliced right into him? What if she didn't get distracted and she when he breathed, she was like, and she stabbed him. And there's so many different ways. And the fact that, as I said, that he got away without her even seeing him. She didn't hear him jump off the table. She didn't hear him running away. She had her back turned for 2 seconds. He got out of the room that fast. It's so silly. But as I said, it's an effective scene. I like that he breathes and the cadaver's behind her. So it works as a scene, but logically it's just ridiculous. And, I was pretty surprised. The mask in this, it seems like it's going to be stupid, but I actually liked it. I thought it was kind of creepy. I was surprised by that. And the first day when they're doing the speed dating, you can tell this is a while ago now because they have video dating and speed dating. I'm sure speed dating still exists, but pretty much everyone does Tinder and shit now if they're just trying to get laid, or a Match.com or something. Everything's on the internet, which they have the internet in this, and it's funny looking. I remember those days. But the first guy she goes on the little speed date with, I thought for sure they were trying to hint towards it being the killer, because it looks just like the kid when back when we see him. And she has shampoo in her hair and she can't get anything, and she actually has to go and dunk her head in the toilet. Just in case you're ever in that situation, there's water in the top of the bowl that's clean. You don't have to put your head in the bottom where where you poop and pee, that area. There's water in the top, so you can take that and splash it on your head. Just FYI for everybody. Don't dunk your head in the toilet when your water goes off. I like the Valentine's Day cards. As I said, I thought those were a nice touch. I like how they were anime, where you pull them up and it was slit their neck or whatever. That was cool. Wish there was a little bit more of that. The art maze they're walking through, I don't know how the hell big that thing was, but it was huge. And the fact that no one could hear this girl screaming, as I said, logic. Go away, logic. I like that the killer uses a bow and arrow like Cupid. That was a nice little touch to go along with the Valentine Day thing, and the fact that he's wearing a Cupid mask. All the men in this movie pretty much are garbage. This is a Lifetime movie. Every dude they encounter is a perv. The detective's trying to feel her up. Jason's an asshole. Her boyfriend ends up being the killer. The other guy's a fucking swindler. Every guy in this movie's shit. And all the girls are strong female characters who, and then that other guy. Now, the whole Denise Richards guy that she brings to the party, and she's known to be, promiscuous, and she's there and she's dancing with him, and he's like, I got something to show you upstairs. It's a surprise. And she's like, I love surprises. And she goes upstairs and he pulls his dick out when she's laying in the bed, and she's like, so your surprise was your dick? And it's like, the fuck did you think you were coming up here for? And then he asks her to wax it, which is just the stupidest thing ever. What that even means? A hand job, a blow job? I don't even know what that means. I know it's a saying, but I've never understood what that means. But she pours hot candle wax on this guy's dick because she thinks he's such an asshole. And I'm sitting there what the fuck did you... I'm not girl has a choice. I'm not saying she doesn't. She's not like because she went up there she had to fuck him. But the fact that she's so taken aback and almost like offended at that moment, it's like, for one, your character has been said to sleep around. You invited this guy there for this, I'm guessing, and then went up to a bedroom with him at a party. Everyone's drinking. You're like a 20-something-year-old. What did you think was going to happen? Like, he didn't force himself on you. He pulled down his pants and he was like, there's my dick. And she was like, okay. Like, I don't know. That scene annoyed me. They were trying to make him look like a monster with all the other guys, and I just don't feel like he was a monster. I think he was an idiot. I mean, to be like, all right, wax my dick. Like, yeah, he's a dipshit, but deserves to have hot wax poured on his dick. That could scar you. Like, that could fuck you up. Like, I just don't think the guy did all that much wrong. Anyways, I went on way too long about this, but anybody with me on this? I just didn't think he was that terrible of a guy. Anyway. I like when the girl and the guy start kissing. It leads to nothing. I don't know if he couldn't get it up or if he came too quick or whatever happened with the rich girl and the con guy. But like as soon as like they look into each other's eyes, like cued the porn music. It was pretty funny to me. I was like, really? God, that's a bad choice right there. And then when the con guy dies, it's just one of those characters like, you know, the obligatory cunt. I haven't used that in a while, Dylan. There you go. It was just like good riddance. I heard Static X in here. Jesus Christ, take me back. Whew, I haven't heard that in freaking forever. And the moment where he, like, Denise Richards go in the spa and he like locks the thing and she can see through it. I've never seen a spa with like a glass top before, but it was an effective scene. That was creepy. Like the way he like drills into it and she's hurt and then he opens it and throws the drill, and that was a good kill. That was a really good segment. That's probably my favorite kill in the movie. The other chick with the glass through the neck was probably the best looking kill, but I liked her Denise Richards' death. As I said, none of these people deserve to die though, so it wasn't like I was like, yeah, bitch, guy. It was kind of like she didn't do anything, Jesus. But it was a good segment. It was a good kill. The whole like reveal thing at the end, you know, with Marley Shelton's character, I was so confused because she never knew there was a masked killer. Like, she knew things were going wrong. Like, I didn't even mention the guy who gets caught putting on her fucking leggings and whatnot. That was funny. That was so randomly inserted, but it made me laugh, so it did its job. Anyway, like, she didn't even know there was a killer. She knew that things were going on and that the police were investigating that there was a possible murder. Then she stumbled onto a body and then a guy came out wearing a mask. But with the whole reveal of like the mask being taken off, and it was like, oh my God, it was her. It was like, I don't know. It just didn't work for me because I don't feel like her character really, it wasn't a like whodunit to her. Like, she was just trying to figure out who the guy was through the police, but she never saw the mask. She never saw the killer. It wasn't like Laurie Strode walking down. She saw the guy, then she saw him here, then she saw him there. She never saw the person before. So when the mask is revealed, it's not like she ever had any identification of who the killer would have looked like previously anyway. So I don't know. That just didn't work for me. And let me tell you right now, ending on this, David Boreanaz being the killer, and his little nosebleed thing and all that stuff, that motherfucker would have gotten caught, okay? He bled on every single crime scene in this film. That is a serious weakness when you bleed every time you go to kill someone and leave your blood behind. I'm sorry, this guy got caught after this. I don't know if he just killed her right there and then killed himself after the credits roll or whatever, but this guy got caught. He killed a police officer, by the way, so they're investigating the shit out of this. When you kill a cop, they will fucking find every single little detail and everything, and they would have found little droplets of blood, tested them, boom, it's you. They would have looked into his background instantly because they were the only two survivors. They would have looked, come on, guy would have got caught. All right, moving on. Adios.